Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a full face by the brand KOSAS. Now KOSAS is definitely no stranger to my channel. I feel like I have been reviewing KOSAS ever since I created my channel. Some of my very first videos included products by KOSAS, so I'm very much familiar with KOSAS products. I also have picked up some of their newer releases. I don't have all of the products that they are offering in their line, but I do have a decent amount of products. So I thought today would be the day where I would be revisiting KOSAS again. This might be the third time that I'm doing a full face review on the brand, and my last video was actually 2 years ago. I'm going to be linking them in my description box down below, alongside with some links to all of the products that I'm going to be featuring in today's video. So those links are going to be affiliate links. They're actually generated through my partner over at Shop My Shelf. However, none of these products were sent to me. None of this is sponsored. None of this was sent to me in PR. None of this was gifted to me. I did purchase all of these products with my own money. I just wanted to have made that disclaimer. Also, if you do end up enjoying this video, please don't forget to give it a like, hit the subscribe button for more beauty content, and don't forget to ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming videos. So I would say without no further ado, I'm just gonna go barefaced and let's kick this review off with the very first product. Alright, you guys, I am barefaced right now, so let's actually kick it off with a little bit of skin prepping. Now, the thing is, I don't really have any of the skin prepping products that KOSAS is offering. And at this point in time, they still don't have a proper primer. So they do have an SPF, and it's called Dream Beam SPF 40. It does retail for $40. I did see some reviews on this product, and it just seems to be very glowy. So I don't really have much of an interest in this product, to be completely frank with you. But the one product that I was seriously eyeing to purchase is their Plump and Juicy Vegan Collagen Spray On Serum. It looks like a hydrating spray that you apply before makeup. I don't think it's a setting spray by any means. But oh my gosh, I am so tempted. Maybe if it's on sale one day. They also do have a mini. And the mini does retail for $20. KOSAS has recently added so many mini sizes. Like, you can get like a lot of the products now in a mini size, which is really convenient if you are traveling or if you do want to try out the product before committing to the full size. I think that's a really smart idea. But yeah, since KOSAS does not have a primer as of right now, I'm going to be going in with something that is silicone free. I am going to be using my REM Beauty Blurring Primer. The reason I am going in with a silicone-free primer is just due to the fact that the foundation is also silicone-free. Now, I've tried this foundation also with a silicone-based primer, and it did work, but I have this, so I do want to get some use out of this, and I think it's actually a really nice primer. And then we are going to be moving on with another prepping step, but for the lips, because I do have something for the lips though. Alright, so let's move on to putting something onto my lips as a prepping step. So this is the Plump and Juicy Lip Booster, and this retails for $25. So here it is. First off, I do adore this packaging, and I really do enjoy this product. This is such an amazing, like, balm treatment product. It does have the smell of shortbread, and I love that scent. I love the scent that KOSAS has in their lip products, and most of the lip products, spoiler alert, are pretty fantastic by KOSAS. So this is just so nice. It's really beautiful. So let's apply it. So this product I could only recommend. I think it's great. And also just look at the shine. The shine of this product is really there. And it feels so nice on the lips. It feels really like nourishing and really good. I really like this. I also just wanted to quickly mention, I have not purchased the BB cream by KOSAS. I have seen so many reviews on that BB cream, and it just looks like a very unflattering product to me. And so I did not want to pick this product up for the price point, because it's also not a cheap product. And also, I don't think it's going to suit my skin type. I do have a little bit more leaning oily skin. I don't necessarily have like the oiliest skin in the world, but throughout the day, my skin can definitely produce a little bit more oil, especially in the T-zone. And when I saw that product, I was like, oh no, I don't want it. I don't want it, but I do have their foundation. So let's apply that one. So this is the Revealer Skin Improving Foundation SPF 25, and this retails for $42. I have reviewed this product in multiple videos actually. And the thing is, I think this is a good foundation. It is not my favorite one, and it's not necessarily a foundation that I constantly reach for in my everyday life, just due to the fact that this is quite glowy on the skin. Now, I can powder this down, but if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you may know I don't really love glowy foundations. I am more of like a satin matte girly. So this foundation also comes in 34 shades. I have this in the shade 180, and this is described as a light plus. So it's not the lightest shade that you can get. It's like a little bit darker than a light shade, but it's also not a light to medium shade. So it's light plus with cool pink undertones. So I'm going to give this a really, really good shake. Now let's look at the texture here. So this is a little bit thicker and creamier. So this is not going to run down my finger. Coverage level on this, definitely medium, but you can build this one up slightly. Again, this is a pretty glowy finish. Let's actually apply this foundation. And also, if you want to know a little bit more about the ingredients, I have reviewed this foundation multiple times, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. I mean, you can go on their website and also read about the foundation. What I like about this is this blends out really, really lovely on the skin. The coverage here, again, pretty medium coverage, but it gives you a good, decent amount of coverage straight away. I mean, I can still see my skin poking through. Nonetheless, it's pretty. I'm going to use a little bit more product for my forehead, and then we can do the side-by-side comparison. I mean, this is pretty hydrating. I think if you have combo leaning dry skin, you would definitely appreciate this product. I like it too. You know, as I said, this is as much glow as I can bear. So let's do the other side as well. Now, in terms of the shade, I will say at first it looks very different when it goes on, right? As when it has settled in a little bit into the skin. But it's not necessarily a pink undertone. I would say this is a neutral undertone. Like, you know, it's not pink. Like, don't call something pink if it's not. That's all I wanted to say. It's pretty neutral. Now, I have a little bit more neutral, leaning, cool undertones. So I'm also not somebody who has straight up pink skin. But I would say it would be confusing for somebody who has pink skin and who's looking for like something that has a little bit more of pink pigment in it. But all right, this is with one layer of the foundation. This is not self-setting whatsoever. This is gonna sit on your skin. It's gonna stay quite wet. And also where I do have a little bit more redness right here, and maybe also my chin, it didn't do a great job in covering everything. But yeah, you can definitely build it up. And maybe I'm gonna be using a brush just for right here. That definitely did help. So I would say if you want more coverage, just go in with a brush. I think it's okay. It's okay. I just need to powder this down. So let's move on to the concealer. And I feel like I featured this concealer since forever on my channel, and I even did an entire video on it when it was first released, and I think it came out in 2020. So of course I'm talking about their Revealer concealer, and this retails for $30. So here we have the concealer. This does come in 36 shades, and recently KOSAS actually did add some shades to their shade range. So I did pick up the shade 2.6C light with cool pink undertones. I was so hopeful. I was just thinking they better nail this one. I mean, let's just say this is a little bit pinker than all of their other shades that they have. If you buy a concealer from Natasha Denona with her rosy undertone, it's pretty pink. This against that, let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so this is Natasha Denona in the shade R5. I mean, the KOSAS one is going to look a lot lighter, okay, but just the undertone, this definitely has a pink undertone. This one, it's almost like beige with just a couple of like pink pigments sprinkled in there. I will say for a while there, I really like this. It's not bad, but it's also not my favorite one in the world. It's very hydrating. It's very creamy. It's also a little bit thicker. It has a little bit more of a medium coverage. I'm gonna just apply a little bit. This doe foot is great though. This really disperses quite a lot of product with one dip. I don't want to go overboard because this tends to crease a little bit, okay? It's not completely crease free, but most concealers kind of do that. Do I want to put it anywhere else? Maybe on here, maybe on my chin. Let's put it right here. Let's also maybe just put it right here. And then also just a little bit on my forehead. I'm going to be using my dampened sponge. Now, of course, you can also use a brush with this. I just prefer my sponge. And I'm just going to blend this out. All right, so when you are blending this out, it just looks pretty. You know, it's not a concealer that I dislike, but I have to blend this out just a little bit more underneath my eyes. On the rest of my face, I think this melted in beautiful with the foundation. So I would definitely recommend this in case you don't have a lot of like fine lines underneath your eyes. There are some concealers out there that are a little bit more smoothing, you know, for that area. So let's move on to the next product. And before I'm doing that, I need to put something on my eyelids. And I'm just going to go in with my eye primer. I'm going to be using my Sigma eyeshadow base primer. I freaking adore this. Okay, so I'm just going to apply this very quickly off camera. And then we are going to be moving on to the setting powder. So this is the Cloud Set setting powder, and this retails for $36. So they also have a mini of the setting powder, which retails for $18 if you just want a cute little mini. Now I have the full size. I had mine for a hot minute. I love this powder. This powder is something by KOSAS where I feel like they've really nailed it. However, this is not an oil controlling powder. This is not something that is gonna like make you stay matte throughout the day, but it's a very pretty blurring sort of powder. And most of the time, whenever I'm reaching for this powder, it is whenever I'm using a foundation where I know it's not gonna get oily throughout the day as much. Now, this does come in shades. I have this in the shade Breezy, and it's described as a sheer light. Now, I wish they could actually release maybe a proper pink powder. Or just something that is a little bit more translucent. So I'm going to be using this on one side of my face first, so you can see the difference. I'm using this on this powder puff. I feel like this is a powder that people would love who don't necessarily like putting on powders, because it's just not like a traditional setting powder. This has set my makeup into place so wonderfully, and also it just works so well with the other KOSAS products, because just look at this side where I put the powder on now and just compare it to how like glowy this is probably looking on the other side. Over the years, ever since I got it, I've just been using this quite a lot. Now, keep in mind, I have a lot of setting powders. Setting powders, it's one category where I do have a lot of products because I love setting powders. I really love them. And this is like a product that is pretty unique in the sea of setting powders that I have. You really can't apply too much of this powder because your skin is just gonna look like skin. It's not gonna look cakey. It's not gonna look like a flat matte, and it just looks flawless. It looks so, so good. I really have been enjoying this since years by now. I really love it. So let's move on to my eyebrows. This is the Brow Pop, and this one retails for $24. So I am such a sucker for this packaging. This packaging, I love it. I really think this is such cute, cute packaging. I have this one in the shade Soft Brown. They also have this in a nano size. I already think that this pencil is pretty micro. This is a very thin pencil. It is really comparable to one of my favorite pencils by Rare Beauty. It is very, very tiny. So if you have very thin eyebrows, you would love this. If you have very thick eyebrows, you're gonna spend so much time filling your eyebrows in with this type of size. But all right, so I'm gonna be filling in this brow first, and then we can do a side-by-side comparison. Let me actually get a hand mirror for this because I feel like I don't see anything. So I'm gonna push this one back again. Okay, so one eyebrow is filled in with a pencil. I will say this does take a little bit more of an effort for me to fill in the gaps in my eyebrows than with my Rare Beauty one, but you know, it works. I really like this shade. So let me just do the other side as well. All right, so one thing I do like about this pencil is the fact that you can be very precise with this. They are offering this in 10 shades, and that is quite an extensive shade range if you are comparing it to some of the other brands on the market. Usually they only have like 4 to 5 shades. KOSAS has 10, and I love the shade soft brown. All right, so my eyebrows are filled in. So let's move on to their eyebrow gel. And if you have watched any of my videos for the past years, you know that this might be one of my favorite products by KOSAS. Like, I adore this eyebrow gel so much. This might be my most repurchased product by this brand. So this is the Airbrow Tinted Gel, and it retails for $24. So this product also comes in 10 shades. The shades are matching to the eyebrow pencil shade range, which is really cool. They also have a clear one. Now I have the tinted version, okay, and I have the same shade. I have the shade soft brown. This has more of like medium hold, so it's not like that extreme hold, but really I don't necessarily need that. There are 5 empty ones right here. I always have one of these at hand, and I always have a backup because I cannot live without this product. This is a product that I use on a daily. So here is the one that I'm currently using. And so I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this, and this still has some product in here. Again, I already have a backup in case I'm running out because I just don't want to be without this product. I love this formula. This is just such a nice gel. I like the tint that this is providing me with. I really like this. Again, this is with the brow gel, this is without the brow gel, and I'm using this product every day. I feel like though as if mine is about to run out again. It is simply one of my all-time favorite eyebrow gels that I've ever tried out, and I've tried out so many. Nothing can beat this. And it's been with me ever since it was released. I fell in love with it straight away. So let's move on to the fun part. Let's move on to some color complexion products, and let's maybe start off with their bronzer. So this is the Sun Show bronzer, and this retails for $35. So I think it was last year when they had re-released their bronzer, because they used to have a bronzer prior to the one that I have now, and I actually still have it. And I'm going to show you why I do assume that they have re-released this, because look, this was their OG bronzer with the sort of minty packaging, and I had this in the shade Light, and it's described as a neutral bronze. That is a hot pan right there, right? And it pretty much immediately did that. So I do assume that, you know, this product was pulled and that they kind of tweaked around the formula. This shade Light was so fair in their original formula. They have definitely done something to that shade range as well. Right now, this does come in 5 different shades. I did purchase this product off of a retailer. I did not purchase it off of the official website of KOSAS, but the retailer did send me the wrong shade. I did not order the shade that I actually got. So they did send me the shade Escape, and the shade Escape is actually described as a medium bronze. Right, so I thought, oh my gosh, no, this is gonna be too dark. So I got the shade Beachy as well. Now the shade Beachy is described as a light medium bronze. This one, in terms of undertone, it just pulls a little bit too golden on me. At the end of the day, I've tried both shades, and I will say that medium one, that one that got sent to me by accident, that one works better for me than this one. The finish of this is quite glowy. This is not a matte bronzer, but it's also kind of a nice finish, you know. It's a nice glow. It does not bother me, you know, it's not excessive. It's not like a highlighter. This shade, although it looks quite deep, it works really well on me because this is also not over the top pigmented. So you can definitely build this one up. It's a little bit more of a buildable sort of formula, a little bit more of a buildable bronzer, which honestly I kind of prefer. And as you can see, I mean, I dipped in my brush quite a lot. And this shade is pretty sheer, right? But you can definitely build it up. Like the more product I'm going to use, the more I can build this one up. And I really like this medium shade. I think it looks very, very pretty on the skin. Definitely has a little bit more of that like red undertone to it. I really like it. This was such a happy accident that they sent me this shade instead of the one that I ordered, but I also feel like this works so much better on me right now in the summer. It is perfect. It is so beautiful. Just look at that. That is such a pretty, pretty bronzing shade. I absolutely adore it. Yeah, so maybe the other one I'm going to be using a little bit more in the winter time. But all right, so let's move on to the blushes. And oh my gosh, I am so, so excited for this category because I did pick up some of their newly released powder blushes. When I saw these, I was so excited, and it took me a while to actually get a hold of them. But I do have 3 shades, and of course, you know, I can only put on 1 shade, but I came prepared with some B-roll footage here. So let's talk about these new powder blushes by KOSAS. So this is the Blush is Life, and this retails for $29. So these new powder blushes do come in 8 different shades, and I did pick up 3. I was so tempted to pick up more, but I just said to myself, stop. 3 is enough. And I did pick up the shades that I was most interested in. And so I have the shade Dreamland, and Dreamland is described as a rosy bronze shade. I'm going to show you some B-roll footage because I'm not going to be applying this shade today. I'm going to be applying my favorite one. It definitely pulls a little bit warmer on me, but I really like it. These do have a little bit of a sheen to them without being too much. Yeah, I really like this shade Dreamland. It's really pretty. It's, for me, very much of a summer shade. I really love it. I also did pick up the shade Euphoria, which is described as a cool pinky mauve shade. Now on me, I don't really see the mauve too much. I feel like this one is pretty pink, but it's really pretty. It's also a little bit glowier. Like I feel like out of all of them, this one might be the glowiest. Definitely a beautiful shade, a beautiful formula. I'm very, very happy with this shade as well. But my favorite one, you guys, my favorite one that I want to apply today, it's the shade Swoon, which is described as a pinky brown mauve. Oh my gosh, this shade, honestly, out of all of the powder blushes that I have, and I've got so many, this is such a unique shade. And I also feel like this one is not quite as glowy as the other ones. Also, these are not over the top pigmented, meaning that you can slowly build them up, which I really appreciate. And this shade, stop, it's so stunning. And I tend to go overboard with them, but just look at that. It's so pretty. If you don't want a lot of pigment, you can just apply a little bit and it's just gonna look so pretty. And if you want more pigment, these are definitely buildable. Like you can build them up. And I just love a formula like this. And this shade, it is delicious. Yeah, I could go ham with this. I could like continuously build this one up and build it up, but I feel like we are at a point where I do want to put the brush down. I have this feeling that I'm going to be including this in my best of 2024 because, it's been a minute since I've tried out a powder blush that I loved that much. Yeah, I don't regret buying these at all. They are incredible. And, if you're not vibing with the shades that I picked up, they've got 8 in total. So there are 5 other shades to consider. So my blush is applied. So usually this would be the point where I would move on to a highlighter. Unfortunately, KOSAS does not have a powder highlighter yet, or should I say anymore. They just have this Glow IV, vitamin infused skin illuminating enhancer. I do think this is like sort of like a liquid gel type of product that you can mix in with your foundation or that you can use as a primer. I don't know, it's illuminating, it's an enhancer. This is so not up my alley. In general, these types of products are just not meant for me. However, I have a very, very, very old product by KOSAS, and these were their blush and highlighter duos. I don't know if you can still remember these. I still have mine, but because they don't have a powder highlighter just yet, I thought we could use the highlighter in one of these. I have this in the shade Contra Chroma. So this was the blush. This was actually a matte blush. And I always really liked this shade in particular. And I also have the Longitude Zero one. That was more pink. And so we had a pink blush here and a more like pinky highlighter. I really want to use the highlighters. So I'm using the one from Contra Chroma right now. But it's so old. I don't even know if this is still good, but it's still doing the job. So I'm just going to apply a little bit right here. It is definitely more of a sort of like subtle highlighter, but it's glowy, It does not look like anything in the pan, but when you apply it to the skin, it's gonna give you that beautiful subtle glow, and I like that. I don't love it if a highlighter is over the top glittery. I really don't like that. This is so pretty. It's like this beautiful subtle glow, but it looks so nice. I really like this. But all right, so we are done with the complexion. I've got to say, everything is still looking great. So let's move on to the eyes. I have not tried out this product just yet. This has been sitting on that vanity for a while now, and I thought, you know what? I don't really have the time with all of the palettes that I'm currently reviewing to put this in between just to test it out. So I thought we would just do it today. So this is the Undressed eyeshadow palette, and this retails for $40. So I'm going to be honest with you, when this came out, I couldn't have cared less about this eyeshadow palette because this is maybe one of the most boring eyeshadow palettes I've ever picked up. However, I do like a good neutral eyeshadow palette, but this is the eyeshadow palette, so let's have a look inside. So this eyeshadow palette comes with 8 shades in total. 7 out of them are mattes, and there is 1 shimmer shade. Now, all of these are neutral tones, so there is not much to say about the color story. Okay, I don't feel like I need to brainstorm this a lot. I just need a clean brush. I'm gonna go in with the shade Peak, and that one is described as a neutral rosy taupe. So this shade right here. Let's see what it's gonna be doing, if I like it or not. There is nothing wrong with creating a more sort of like neutral eyeshadow palette. I feel like I can always get use out of these shades because they work so well on me. It blends out pretty nicely. It's not like a bad formula. It's just a little bit more sheerly pigmented, but you can definitely build this up somehow. Also take into consideration that this is more of a light to mid-tone shade. This is definitely not a deep shade. I feel like this is more of a transition shade than anything else. So what I want to do is I'm going to use this shade right here, Gaze, and Gaze is described as a warm peach. I'm just going to add a little bit of this, a little bit right here. So I'm intrigued to know how deep these deeper shades are going to pull. So I'm going to use this shade first, and I'm going to use this in my outer corner right here. This one definitely has a little bit more pigmentation, like a little bit of depth, but it's not crazy pigmented. I still feel like I'm getting a wash of color, but in a good way. This is definitely buildable. I kind of like it. I kind of love the formula. The formula just almost blends out itself. It looks very non-patchy. Anyway, I'm gonna use the shade Flaunt and see the deepest shade. I'm also gonna just apply this in my outer corner right here, just a little bit to deepen up my look, but I'm not gonna bring it all the way up. Honestly, you guys, I'm actually not mad at this. I think this is going somewhere. So I'm gonna use the shade Hint, just a little bit. I'm gonna put that in my inner corner. Now, I will say there is a little bit of kickback, but they are so creamy once they go onto the eye. Like, very creamy. Also, this cream white is actually quite pigmented. I did not think it would be. So KOSAS actually has released, and this was pretty recently, they have released brand new gel eyeliners. And I got two shades here. So one of them I'm going to be putting in my waterline. So this is the Soul Gazer Intensifying Gel Eyeliner, and this retails for $24. I did pick up two shades, so in total there are 10 shades. And four of them are actually satins that have a little bit more of, like, I would say, a metallic finish to them. And then the other ones have a matte finish to them. I actually have one of each finish. So I did pick up this shade, which is called Bewitch. It's a night violet satin. And I'm going to show you actually an eye look that I did over on my YouTube Shorts tab with an Adapt Cosmetics palette where I did use this. I have not tried out the other shade though that I picked up. And I picked up the shade Depth, and Depth is actually described as a warm brown matte shade. I wish that these would be crayons, however, this is a gel formula. Here you have the pencil, right? And then right here you have a smudger. And you also have a sharpener. I really dislike these sharpeners. These sharpeners are so messy. Oh my gosh, I really don't like them. So give me a second. I'm gonna try my best to put this into my waterline and then I'll be right back. I like the shade, but I had to do multiple swipes until I could build up the pigment in the waterline a little bit. Now keep in mind, my waterline is very watery. Not a lot of eyeliners will stick. I'm gonna be applying this on the other side as well. See what I mean? I need to do a couple of swipes until the pigment will stick. And also this liner has to be warmed up a little bit, I feel like. I actually really like this shade, but I really have to swipe around quite a lot. Yeah, I have to play around with these a little bit more. Maybe I'm gonna be including them in a newer video as well. So yeah, let's continue though with my eye look. So I'm gonna just continue with the shade Unite, this one right here. And I'm just gonna put that on my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna be deepening it up with the shade Flaunt. All right, so the matte shades in this palette are really nice. The next question is though, what are we gonna be doing with this shimmer? Because I feel like this shimmer might be ruining my look. Because is this gonna match? Let me just swatch it. So this one, it will clash with my blush, the color of my cheeks. It will clash with my lip product. So I don't think I'm gonna be applying this. I don't want to risk it. I'm gonna have a look at my eyeshadow collection, what I'm gonna be pulling in here. All right, I am back. I just finished my eye look off camera real quick. I decided to not use the shimmer that is in the KOSAS eyeshadow palette just because it's not gonna match, okay? Now, if you're curious what I actually used instead on my eyelid was this palette by Beauty Bay. I don't think that this is available anymore. This was also a limited edition release for this year's Valentine's Day, but I used this shade Encore, and this is such an amazing shade. I absolutely love this shade. And then I also used a little bit of Girlfriend just in my inner corner. I put a little bit of a brow bone highlighter on, and I actually used the KOSAS highlighter from their discontinued blush and highlighter palette. And I also went ahead and I applied already some mascara just to move on a little bit quicker. I did apply my Sweet Beauty Cloud Mascara. Absolutely love this mascara. This is so good. I'm gonna put a link in my description box because Yeah, this is just my favorite mascara. And also, KOSAS has discontinued their mascara. I actually tried that one out. The very first time when it was released, it was such a smudgy formula. Then they reformulated the mascara and it was just so dry. I gave up on their mascara formulas, and I think they gave up on the mascara too, because they don't have a mascara anymore. The eyes are done, so let's finally move on to the last step. Let's move on to my lips. I mean, I've already talked about this product in the beginning of the video, and I will say my lips feel so nourished, so hydrated. So again, I love this. So a product that I currently don't have, and I think I had it back in the day, that is their weightless lip color. It's their standard sort of lipstick. Now they have added a lot of shades to it, so I don't have the best memories of that. Although the new shades look really, really stunning, I have not committed thus far of picking a new shade up. Not yet. I don't know. Maybe in the future. Maybe. I'm not sure about that though. But one product that I'm not going to be applying today that I seriously do love, and I would recommend this. I did feature this one in my last full face of KOSAS makeup, and that is their wet lip oil gloss, and this retails for $22. I absolutely love this formula. This formula is so amazing. Again, smells like shortbread. I love the packaging here. I have this in the shade Unzipped. Honestly, I have multiple shades. I also once purchased like a bundle, because usually KOSAS does offer a lot of bundles, and those were all minis. So this was one of them, which is the shade Exposed. This had a little bit more of a shimmer to it. I also love the shade Unhooked. This also is in a mini. I'm not sure if that was actually in the bundle though. I think I just got that. I can't remember. I really think these are amazing. Otherwise, I would not have as many. They are so good. Love them. So let's move on to the products that I actually do want to put on my lips, because KOSAS has so many lip products. So maybe let's start off with their brand new lip liners. I think those were in existence last year, and then they pulled the product off of the shelves, and now they have re-released this formula. I never had the original formula. So this is their hot liner, and this retails for $22. So this actually does come in 8 shades in total. I only picked up one shade because I wanted to try out the formula first. And I picked up the shade Infinite, and the shade Infinite is described as a warm pinky brown shade. I tried this out once thus far, and it is very matte. I'm gonna be applying the lip liner. I'm not the biggest fan of these types of lip liners, you know. I wish this could just be a crayon pencil, because the tip very uneven, you know, not very precise. So if this would come in a normal pencil, I would definitely pick up more shades, because I love the formula. It's very matte. It's gonna be very long lasting. But my problem is just the type of delivery. And also these sharpeners are so not precise. I really don't like to sharpen them. It's so messy. It's so annoying. Yeah. But let's move on to the lip color, finally, to the last product of today's video. I did not pick it up when it was released, so it was quite a while ago. But I think this is still their newest lip product. And I finally made the jump and picked this one up. And this is the Wet Stick, and this retails for $24. So this is described as a moisturizing lip shine. Really love the packaging. And this comes with 12 different shades. I actually picked up the shade 100 degrees. It is described as a neutral pink beige. Now, one thing that I immediately realized is the discrepancy in between the picture that is online and the real lipstick. I'm gonna be putting the picture right here. The picture online looks so much more brown. It's so weird. Nonetheless, I have used this product now for a while, and I absolutely love this formula. This formula is amazing. It's not like the most long-lasting product in the world. It's like a sheer sort of like lip gloss that comes in a stick. It is very nourishing. I feel like their lip products are actually quite excellent. This really did not disappoint me, but when I got it, I was like, oh, is that the shade that I ordered? Really? Oh no. But I still like it. I really do. So let's apply it to my lips. I really like the shade. It's described as a neutral pink beige. The description is pretty accurate, but the picture is just completely off. Maybe just have a look at the pictures of the lip models, because those are more accurate than their product picture. It almost feels like a tinted lip balm, but it's not as balmy and as waxy. It really has a nice glide, and it's, I don't know, it's just so creamy on the lips, but it's also not slipping around. What are you thinking? I actually really do like this. It looks very natural, looks really pretty. And they've got tons of shades. Those were all of the products that I've been trying out by KOSAS lately. But please let me know in the comment section down below, have you tried anything by KOSAS? Are you new to the brand? Do you know the brand since years? I would be really curious to know if you have tried the brand out. And also don't forget to check out my description box. All of the products are going to be linked in there. And yeah, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell in order to stay notified about my upcoming videos. And until next time, please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.